And now we're going to start with the admin panel, and we're also going to mention some of the things that we discussed earlier regarding odds configuration, the content management system, as well as other configuration options for the website, for both the casino and the sportsbook website. For instance, this is the user management module. This is how the user module looks like, and we can search for users. We can show a brief list of users based on search terms. We can also delete or suspend or add bonuses to a number of users in one shot. We can select the accounts that we like to work with, and they just add credit or do whatever we want to do to them. Or we can also open a user account for further information. I'm going to open my own demo account right now. There we go. And I'm going to go to my user profile and maybe add a note over here so that my colleagues will know what this account is for and what, who created it. I can also delete some of the notes. I had this one, for instance, also had a copy, and we didn't want that. Now I can also send myself a text message in case I just got a bonus. I hope you get messages like this as well, as often as possible. I'm going to discuss a little bit about how balance is shown to the on the websites. So our websites operate on both prepaid and credit models. So we can create a user account and deposit manually when they pay in cash, or allow them to process payments using credit cards or e-wallets. But at the same time, we can also work on a credit-based model where we issue a line of credit to each one of the customers, and at the end of the week or at the end of the month, they have to pay for whatever they wagered, or they have to collect whatever their earnings were. Of course, this is something that we don't really see now in 2013. Some of our clients are using it. Most websites out there do not, and I would say this is very popular. This was or still is very popular throughout the United States. But just in case it's needed, we also offer this. And of course, this is the real balance. So this is for a prepay model, which is how most of the websites are operating. This is where I can also suspend a user account. I can also, as we've seen earlier, I can also add money or remove money. I can check the list of bets. For instance, let's see if I don't have any spending bets. Let's see if I won something. Yeah, I've won some bets a while ago. And I've also visited some pages in the meanwhile. For instance, throughout our presentation, we've been going through a number of pages on our demo site, betvolt.com, and this is where it's showing what I've been doing and the requests that I've been making. And this can also be exported through the API for further reporting and analytics. And I can also edit the user account if I wanted to. I can change the name, can change pretty much anything that I want to change. Now, going back to the admin panel, since we're done with the users, I'm going with the users module. I'm going to go to transactions. Transactions is where we see every single operation, every single action users do on a website. For instance, deposit money. When you deposit money, it will generate a transaction over here in the log. When you withdraw money, it will generate another transaction. When you transfer money to user accounts through the API, in and out of the user accounts, it's going to generate a transaction log. Same for winnings, same for casino games, same for pretty much everything that is happening in the sportsbook, casino, or in any external application such as live dealer games, or pretty much any kind of application that's integrated with our database. So the transaction log is where all this information will be found at any time, and the transaction log is also searchable for. I'm I'm going to open this in just a second. I'm going to open for one of our websites. I'm going to open the transaction log and filter the data. And let's say, for instance, betvault.com. And I'm going to move this to my presentation screen. There we go. So this is an example of transaction log like this. You can see gaming over here. You can see a lot of things that are happening on this website. And I can also go to the next page, and I can go to the next page, and so on and so forth. And it also gives me at the bottom of the page, it gives me some brief statistics: how much money was debited from user accounts, how much money was credited, and what was the success ratio if we had any transactions that failed that we wanna pay attention to. And of course, we can also filter this down further by the type of transaction, by the status of the transaction. Failed deposits, for instance, you want to keep an eye out for those because it means that users are trying to be naughty, which is not something that we want or allow. But nevertheless, this is the transaction log, and all the information that you see on the screen can also be exported and accessed externally throughout our API. We'll be discussing our API shortly. Now we're getting closer to the content management system, which is actually a very, very good tool that allows you to create pages, static pages on your website, to inject static content to any of the sportsbook or casino game sections. For instance, this is a CMS page, and this has been created with the content management system that we're going to show you, that my colleague Glenn is going to demonstrate in just a few minutes. And this is the marketing tools section within the content management system, which contains a list of text links that users can use that site operators can use to promote their website, as well as banner ads. And you can upload banner ads over here that are being tracked and cookied, so that we know which user came from which affiliate of your website and who the referral bonus gets credited to. So this is also something that you can manage from within the API, the content management system, and also the API. Later on, we'll get to discuss the API as well. Now, this is how the content management system looks for a static page that shows a bunch of casino games that should preload. As we can see, we can also embed tags. We have a tag language. Tags are always enclosed by square brackets like this, and we can include all sorts of variables: username, user email address, user ID, and all sorts of things. And I'm going to demonstrate how to extend the product by integrating remote code and remote applications using the content management system. Right now, however, I'm going to pass this presentation to my colleague Bilen, who will demonstrate how to create a static page for betvault.com, which will contain images as well as CSS style sheets and HTML code. So I'm going to swap presenter now. Bilen, the presentation is yours.